Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Cynthia if you're new, and this is part 2 of 3 of my fall journal making. And right here you see me jump right into it, and I'm just trying to reinforce the spine of the cover because I will be binding my pages into it. So I'm reusing parts of the book that I gutted, and this was like a little mesh kind of fabric that was onto the book, and I took it apart and I'm just gluing it down to add an extra layer to the spine. And then I'm also going to glue that little piece of like a thinner but very sturdy cardboard before covering everything with a piece of fabric. And the glue that I'm using is really nothing special. It's the first time I try using this glue for making a journal, and I'm still just experimenting with different glues and different materials, trying to find what works best for me. And this glue here is just for from Dollar Tree, and it's like a tacky glue, but I figured I'd give it a go since I used it last year as I was making some butts houses, and I really loved it. And it really, once it's dried, it's very sturdy. So I wanted to try it for my bookmaking. So I'm just using a little cheapy tool because I don't have a real bone folder stick, so I'm just using like a very cheap one I found at Dollar Tree and trying to make everything lay a little bit more flat. And I did let it dry a little bit before playing around with it again, but here I'm adding more glue and I'm gonna glue on the fabric. And I've mentioned this in the past video, but of course this is a personal journal, so I'm not trying to make anything perfect for myself. I don't mind that things are not cut fully straight, and I'm really okay with that. I like the look of handmade things, and those little imperfections I think is what makes it so much more special. So here I'm just gluing down that piece of fabric. It's not a special piece of fabric. I found this at Walmart, I believe, but I really love the colors of this fabric actually, so I figured I could use a little bit of it to cover the spine. And I'm just flattening everything, trying to get rid of any air bubbles to make sure that the fabric is adhered to the cover really well. And I am gonna let this dry, and now it's a new day. So I wanted to try something new, and I wanted to bind a full piece of fabric all around all of my signatures. Here I'm just showing you I've pre-made 3 holes in each of my signatures that are secured with some paper clips, and I'm just using a very basic thread, and it's nothing special. Again, I didn't start doing journals very long ago, so I haven't invested in getting really good thread for myself or wax for my thread and any of that stuff, since it's really, I really believe that when you start something new such as journal making or journaling, it's a learning process, and you have to take the time to see what you actually need and not just get everything all at once. But I've pre-made holes for the signatures, so you can see here, to really make it a lot easier and a little bit more straight, I guess. And the method that I use is just going through the middle. So I go out the middle, into the top, back out the middle, and into the bottom, and then I tie it in the middle. I like to put a little part of the string attached to one of my paper clips from what's holding the pages together. I find that it helps me not simply go through everything by accident. And along every time that I pierce through one of the holes, I just make sure that everything is following along properly, that the thread is not getting stuck anywhere or making like a little knot or anything like that. So you'll see me double check here. And then I go back in through the bottom and through that piece of fabric and then through the signature. Sometimes you see here I do struggle to get back through all of the holes, but you just gotta be patient and do your best. So now that I've gone through here, I can remove my needle and simply tie a few knots to make it tight as possible, but I do double check that everything is laying flat and undisturbed before making my knots. But if something happens, I can very easily just untie it and redo the signature. And here I cut the excess. I don't typically attach any like beading or anything in the middle of my signatures, but that's certainly something that you can do. And I'm moving on to the next. It doesn't really matter whether you start from the last signature or the first. Typically I start from the last, but I tried to start from the first this time around. And here again, I'm going through the middle. So out the middle, I'm attaching the piece of thread to one of the paper clips. And I go out the spine and I will go back in through the top, back out through the middle, and back in through the bottom. You'll see here, I'm just making sure here it kind of got stuck and pulling it through, and then I'll be able to continue on. But I try and check as much as possible. Sometimes I forget, but it has happened to me to tie a signature and then realize that it was stuck, the thread had been stuck and it wasn't laying flat. So it's just a good reminder to double check as you do it. There's so many other ways to bind books and journals. You know, you just gotta find the way that works for you. And so far, this has been a really easy and efficient way for me. So that's what I've been using. And I'm gonna make a few knots and secure, and then I will cut off the excess. But I won't show you all of the pages right now. Now that I have the two binded, I will do the rest off camera, and you'll be able to see the end result. And now I just need to unclip that piece of fabric that is surrounding all of the pages. I really like the way that turned out. I'm really excited that it worked out how I kind of envisioned it. And that's about it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like or a comment down below. And part 3 will be coming out next Tuesday. I am excited to show you guys the end results, and then following that will be a flip through of the journal. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys in my next one, and I'm wishing you a really good day.